So there me and my boy were, having it large in San Fran, buying matching outfits, hanging out at the park, sinking beverages at the bar, and watching a bloke finger A minor in the park. The vibes were immaculate and the night is still young. That's when we experienced the most realistic event that's ever happened in a video game. We're waiting for an ambulance to arrive to see this guy laid out on the floor. I have no idea how this happened, maybe he slipped. They're gonna hit him with a drive-by. Oh, shit.
Oh my god.
Suddenly 2 police officers go sprinting around the corner, so naturally, we follow. When we turn the corner, we notice both of them have their hands on their guns, fingers itching to pull the trigger for any reason, and that's when it happens. In broad daylight, the officers begin discharging their firearms into a crowd of innocent people. A young man takes a few to the chest, fatally killing him, and what do you know? He's obviously a minority. I'm so sick of this police brutality. I need to stand up for the black friends that I don't have. So I will be starting at the top with the FBI, spreading this video taking them down from the inside out using the power of hacking and virginity. I'm off to see my hacker crew DedSec, but more importantly, I'm driving there in my fully electric, zero emissions, zero muff, one-seater car. I quickly stop to chat to a guy about Warhammer and how tired he must be from all the sex he gets from various women. But just as I'm about to leave, I see that he puts butter in his coffee. What the fuck?
Here to report a crime, an international war crime.
I take the appropriate next steps and call a gang hit on him. Unfortunately, it would appear I ordered the most dysfunctional gang in all of San Francisco, as they managed to shoot pretty much everyone apart from the target. I wasn't just going to let him get away with committing this war crime, so it was time to get my hands dirty. By getting my hands dirty, I of course mean picking him up on a forklift and taking him for a ride to a restricted police area so he gets arrested for trespassing. Voiy 1, terrorism 0. I meet up with the rest of the crew where we get a Skype call from the final boss of BuzzFeed. We'll come back to her later though, as we've got bigger things on our hands right now. Well, not literally bigger. She's a large lass herself, just bigger in terms of stakes. Nobody tell her about the big stakes. You see, we were all enjoying a succulent bit of scran at our favourite seafood restaurant. Wrench was enjoying some drinks because he's a sesh gremlin, Sitara was on the karaoke because of her beautiful singing voice, and Josh was on his laptop because of the autism. Josh then gets an email with someone tipping us off that we're being spied on, with pictures of us right now as evidence. Kind of flattering, to be honest. Out of everyone in the city, they choose us. But we also need to find out who this creep is. What will you know? It's those pesky perverts over at the FBI. As if spying on me through my webcam while I educate myself on the anatomy of women wasn't enough, they also have to spy on me eating dinner. We set up a team meeting to establish our next steps, and by team meeting, I of course mean we speak to Wrench at a local coffee shop while he harasses the waitress. I nip over to a clothes stool, as if you've seen any of my other Watch Dogs 2 content, you know I change outfits about 4 times per video. Maybe I have commitment issues. This time I'm at a stall and not a clothes shop though, so at least I'm supporting a local business. His clothes were mostly tie-dye and he was preaching peace, so he'll probably spend my money on a queue, but hey, there's worse places my money could be going. I come out dripped head to toe in that Mother Russia gear, ready to go. I also grab a coffee to feel a big day ahead, but it's San Francisco where you can't just grab a regular coffee. So I ordered a whipped, shaken and stirred, brown sugar, pumpkin iced, loo roll laced with a double shot of Buster Nut. Marcus then runs outside and hits a tasty little front flip because the caffeine has got him dizzy. By the way, if you don't leave a like on this video, I won't be able to afford to water my plants, so you'll have the blood of 13 plants on your hands. Back to business, taking down the FBI, I walk straight into their building and they seem to be pretty laxed about who they let in. Suddenly my path is obstructed by a woman who won't budge out of the way to let me past. I take the natural next step and knock her out using my homemade melee weapon. 2 other women then begin assaulting me after this to stand up for women power or something, I guess, I don't know. So I take care of both of them. A 4th woman then joins in on the action and you'd think they would have learnt by now, but no, she persists, so I have no choice but to send 12,000 volts coursing through her body. After that small misunderstanding, I slip in the elevator and head up to the top floor. I've got to plant a bug in the FBI offices so Wrench can access their data and see why they're taking such a keen interest in us. I go for the stealthy approach, but immediately get spotted and have to take a guard down. I send my drones in, hoping they can get the job done, but I actually have to go in there myself. So there I am, slipping through the corridors, knocking out FBI workers like they were on a date with Bill Cosby. I find the room I need to be in and start downloading the data, but more and more FBI guards are getting sus. Eventually I decide I'll have to start using my taser gun, but little did I know, I didn't have the taser gun equipped, I had a Mac 11. Whoopsie daisy. Suddenly I've gone from quirky little hacker man who only beats women that won't move out of his way, to full-blown murderer as I'm now in a shootout with the FBI. This has got to be pretty embarrassing for all those trained professionals with ARs as they're losing a 10v1 against a skinny nerd with a Mac 11. I try to escape with a slick jump from the top floor, but Marcus doesn't have the coconuts to pull it off, so I just casually ride the elevator down like nothing ever happened. I slip out the back and once again try the cinematic escape. Go. No, that was supposed to be really cool. Get on the bike, come back. No, let's get out of here. Oh, fuck. After the chase, I find a skate shop sporting a DIY quarter pipe outside, so yes, you bet, I'm going to ride my motorcycle up it. Unfortunately, it would appear Marcus isn't as skilled at freestyle motocross as he is at murdering the FBI, so he folds, falling off the bike, which then lands on him, crushing his legs. Christ, his back was already knackered from carrying DedSec, and now the rest of his body is too. Speaking of DedSec, our boy Wrench has been kidnapped by some FBI folk. They even took his mask off, which is taking things too far. However, when I profile Wrench, it says, "Your future boyfriend. If only I could be so lucky." After a few questions, they release Wrench because keeping him would be a crime, and the FBI doesn't commit crimes, apart from spying on you. And covering up shady things the government does. Collecting info on other countries' leaders. Being in cahoots with the Soviet Union. But apart from that, they're pretty clean. I steal a big yellow van and make my way to the FBI hideout to steal Wrench's mask back, because how else do you expect him to harass women and get away with it? I attempt to break in there, all action movie style like Dwayne Johnson but with more hair. I get my van stuck. So stuck in fact that I have to restart the game as Marcus refuses to climb out the passenger seat. If only he had a stepbro nearby. So for some reason I actually found this mission really challenging. I mean, it definitely wasn't hard, so I have no idea what was going on here. I just kept dying over and over again. I think I was trying to run and gun to get it over and done with, but like my girlfriend always tells me, "George, please stop celebrating when you finish first. This isn't a race." That's just what she says to make herself feel better, because she's never won the race. So we get Wrench's mask back, and we have a little sad boy talk on the bench together, but I tell him I'll cook a ribeye steak and pop a little bottle of red tonight to make him feel better. We then all expose the FBI to the world for spying on everyone, like that's new information, and our job was done. I reward myself for this hard work by standing over a water fountain and getting a quick gooch check. The game also spawned me on this roof where I had no idea how to get down, so I figured I'll make a quick jump into the sea. I leap off the roof and unfortunately miss my target, only coming up about 582 feet short. I don't actually think Watch Dogs 2's NPC system has ever been topped by another game since it released back in 2016. Sometimes I boot up the game just to literally walk around and see what the NPCs do with their day-to-day lives. Wow, that sounded a lot more sad when I said it out loud. What other game can you truly immerse yourself in the land of the USA by watching a police shootout take place in the middle of the street? It really makes you feel the freedom of the land. Grenade! Oh my god. Holy shit. Average night in America, I guess. As I'm on my nighttime cruise through the city, the sky opens up and begins spraying us with water, aka it starts raining. I do the neighborly thing of going around making sure everybody has an umbrella to cover themselves from the rain, when I find this dude Jimmy who is raw dogging it. Of course I call the police, because Big Jimmo could get a head cold from walking around in the rain like this, so I'm looking out for him. I forgot, however, that I upgraded my police ability to SWAT level, which seems a little overkill for the situation, but what can I do now? As the SWAT are walking him to the car, a tragic accident takes place as the parked car suddenly veers into Jimmo, crushing him and killing him. The police stand there, clearly untrained and more useless than Premier League referees, as Jimmo bleeds out on the floor. I guess the moral of the story is, always use an umbrella. Anyway, all that murder has got me feeling a little parched, so I hit the coffee shop. It would appear that San Fran isn't as progressive as everyone makes it out to be though, as when I purchase a coffee, everyone runs out the cafe. SMH, a black man should be able to buy coffee just like the rest of us, you bloody bigots. Returning to the story, I went and visited the final boss of BuzzFeed that I introduced earlier. You see what I did there? That's called closing a loop that I opened earlier in the video. It's an advanced storytelling technique used to keep you hooked and watching, so if you're still here, it worked. I don't have any more loops to open, so please, if you could just stay, that would really help. I mean, you've made it this far. You can't abandon me now. Anyway, this storyline is pretty forgettable. I mean, I can't remember what Marcus and BuzzFeed spoke about here. The more important thing, though, is that after that conversation, I danced with some scantily clad lads, but I think Marcus's moves scared them off a little bit, as he looked like he'd just shelved 16 pills. I'm heading over to the motorcycle club, but on my way there, I spot a car on the drive that I want to steal. But I also notice that the owner of said car is on her porch. When I go over to profile her, it says her family is missing on a plane. That's some pretty depressing stuff. But on the bright side, if the plane ever does turn up and needs to perform an emergency landing, there will be no problem establishing an airport on her wagon. So I rock up to this motorcycle club where, once again, I have no idea what I'm doing here. I was not paying attention. So I just stumble in and begin hitting the dance moves again. The club members point their guns at me and I fail the mission, because apparently air thrusting in the middle of the bar wasn't an objective. On the bright side though, doing this mission did make me see Marcus do this. The motorcycle club mission ends in a shootout, blah blah blah, but once I was walking on the streets again, I find a woman breaking into a car. I step in and be the good citizen I am, by controlling the car through my phone, flinging her out the window and knocking her out cold. I then steal the family 4x4 myself, so she doesn't go to prison for theft. I know, I just bought one of those desks that are height adjustable, because I'm that much of a stand-up guy. Back to BuzzFeed, we're here at her bunker to destroy all of her work, which includes those BuzzFeed quizzes like, which Disney princess are you, that mums share all over Facebook. You're not Rapunzel, Sharon, you're 46 years old. Someone please come collect their aunt. She has a few guards around her bunker who I'm sure are underpaid and have families, so I go the non-lethal route of using motor vehicles to run them over. Once inside the bunker, I work a little bit of those hacking techers, and now the bunker is ours. This should be cause for celebration, but there's no sunlight. The place runs off non-renewable energy, and it smells worse than a Valorant player in here. It was not worth the effort. During this whole video, you may have noticed that our boy Horatio hasn't been round. Good on you if you did, as none of DedSec did until just now. Great friends. We track his phone and head to his last known location, which is in a pretty naff neighborhood. You can tell it's not the most affluent of places because of all the Mexican fast food places around, as that's actually the cheapest cuisine in America. Horatio's phone tracked to this house, so I pop in without knocking. Let's hope he's not balls deep in a, oh my god, no, it's so much worse. He's dead. Was he murdered, or did he just ignore a wet floor sign? Well, I'm going to use another one of my advanced storytelling techniques called a cliffhanger here to end the video so you watch the next one, which will probably be in a year's time when I get the random urge to play this game again. Big love to Sean for editing, big love to you for watching. Remember to smooch your homie before bed tonight, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.